Welcome, crypto fam, to number one daily Bitcoin pod. Bitcoin pumping back in the green. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest technical analysis as well as breaking news. Pro Bitcoin's Donald Trump lead in the election is up by 8.6% in the odds, according to the latest data from Polymarket, which is the largest difference in in voting power between Trump and Harris. So definitely a good sign there for the Trump fans. Also, the National Bank of Bahrain with access points in the UAE and Abu Dhabi just launched its first Bitcoin investment product. Also big news we shared yesterday, the UAE ultimately no VAT taxes. Other news. And quoting Max Kaiser, dilution equals accretion. Never happened before in the history of finance on this scale. MicroStrategy. We'll also be discussing crypto adoption on track to hit 8% by 2025, according to this latest report, as well as Japan's Meta Planet makes 7 million Bitcoin by BTFD, bringing their total holdings to $40.5 million. We'll also be discussing crypto investment products see 147 million of outflows after a 3-week inflow streak, as well as investor Dan Tapiero says Bitcoin primed to launch if Bitcoin breaks this one major resistance level. And we'll also be discussing very bullish price predictions from the one and only Michael Saylor, $45 million Bitcoin. In fact, they even have a $100 million Bitcoin price prediction to share with you, which I think is officially the most bullish Michael Saylor prediction of all time. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market, all this plus so much motherfucking more in today's show, yo. Right on. But anyways, fam, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes. Then go ahead and subscribe to number one daily Bitcoin pod. Then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications. Today is pod episode 1780. I'm your host, Caffeinated JV. And it's October 7th, 2024. I got my cup of Joe today, so I'll be speeding all over the place. I even got my spin drift just to keep it 100. And flavored lime. So you already know it's going to be a lit show. But anyways, welcome everyone just joining us. Bitcoin's back in the green. We're up over 500 on the day. We got a Nibinator indicator in the house. You already know, bro. But let's kick it off with our market watch as we do each and every day. You should be able to see Coin 360 pulled up here. We got Bitcoin hovering in the green, up almost 1% on the day, trading above 63.3. We did tap 64,000 late last night and early this morning. I screen captured it. Proof of work. XRP in the green, Solana in the green, Tron and Cardano and BNB and all the majority of the major altcoins in the green and breaking out, but very modestly. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap stands at $2.2 trillion, and the Bitcoin market cap sits at $1.25 trillion. We got roughly 78 billion worth of volume in the past 24 hours, meaning it's up 93% on the day. And checking out the Bitcoin dominance, it's 56.9% with Ether dominance at 13.4%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. Nero up 37%, Mu up 24%, and FTT, the scam token created by Scam Bankman-Fried, currently serving 25 years, and the Slammer up 21%, believe it or not. Let me know which alts, if any, you're most bullish on for the bull. Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective on the daily, then we'll zoom out on the monthly. I'd say 90% of the market in the green, maybe only 10% in the red for the day, and zooming out on the monthly. Virtually everything in the green. This is what we love to see. Some of these alts even up over 100%, including Scam Bankman-Fried's 138% gain on FTT. Hex is even up 343%. Good Lord. PopCat, 166%. Tau, 159%. Insane gainers. And checking out Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Today, we're dead in the middle of little did we know that we riddles a middleman who didn't do diddly at a 50. And last week was a 61, and last month a 23 in extreme fear. And checking out the time chain calendar as the crowd continues to go wild, shouting, JV, JV, Nipsey, BTC. 185,000 blocks yet to go into the next halving, 2028. We're currently on block 864,623, and you can currently exchange $1 for 1,580 Satoshis, so stack those sats accordingly. The headline here reads, and I'll also be pulling up some of the live charts, 5 things you should know about Bitcoin this week. Let's start with uno numero Number one, leverage woes taint the Bitcoin price rebound. Bitcoin gained momentum into the weekly close, as we can see here on the 1 hour chart. And again, I'll be pulling up the live chart here shortly. Notice that big Godzilla green candle, pretty sexy, but we have been correcting since then after tapping 64. And while encouraging on paper, the Bitcoin price action nonetheless garnered more suspicion than support amongst traders as a result. The reason they agreed was leverage. Damn it, leverage. Increasing the market bets were producing an inorganic price rally apt to disappear in an instant. As outlined here by Martin, there is the definition of a leverage-driven pump. Open interest is up 800 milli on a Sunday night. What could go wrong? And lo and behold, we're correct. And so kind of just is what it is. Another analyst pointed out a successful campaign puts Bitcoin in a good position to go after the 200-day moving average and the 2021 cycle mid-top. A failed campaign will indicate more time in the range with greater potential for retesting the support. Second thing to watch out for this week, CPI week sees markets abandon the 0.5% rate cut bets. That's right. Data from the CME Group's FedWatch tool currently sees the Fed cutting rates by 0.25% November 7th, 1 month out. A sharp contrast to the market bets from a week ago. And let's not forget, less than a month away until November 5th. Who's going to win the presidential election here in the United States? You let me know your thoughts. And until the unemployment print, a larger 0.5% cut was a clear possibility. This outcome now wholly missing from the market expectations. Quoting them here, a November 50 basis point rate cut was almost entirely priced out last week, but that could change. And analyzing the U.S. financial conditions, the KBC letter continued that one metric, 2 years of rate hikes, had already been mitigated. Quoting them here, financial conditions posted their largest year-over-year decline in 3 years and are back down to pre-interest rate hike levels since October of 2023 last year. The financial conditions index loosened at its fastest pace since Novid, March of 2020, when the Fed cut rates to nearly zero. Effectively, restrictive Fed policy and interest rate hikes since March of 2022 have been undone. This comes as markets price in another 75 basis points of rate cuts alone for this year of 2024. Next factor to keep your eyes out on, the long-term hodlers are likely protecting the profits. Well, of course we are. I mean, what else would the diamond hands laser eyes be doing at a time like this? But I digress. Bitcoin's diamond hand shows signs of strain this month as viewed by the net position change in their realized cap. Quoting the crypto quant here, the analytics platform, there has been a recent sharp decrease of $6 billion in long-term hodler realized cap, suggesting the long-term hodlers are likely taking profits or closing buying positions. Well, we know that Michael Saylor does nothing but close those buying positions and continue to buy, take advantage of the dip. He says, I'll be buying at the lows, the mid, and the highs for the rest of his life. And I don't doubt the Giga Chad. Stick around. We're going to be discussing a $45 million prediction from the one and only Mikey Saylor. But yeah, another thing to watch out for, spotlight on speculator profits. Short-term hodlers are now the focus for another reason. Apparently, they're the ones stacking sats like there's no tomorrow. Shout out short-term hodlers and long-term hodlers alike. Anyone hodling the biddy. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, Percival noted that leverage encounters on an impulse zone, which is a period of the open interest increases rapidly across the exchanges. Impulse zones are necessary so that the investor can capitalize on maximum profits with long positions and minimize the losses. Compared to the past movements, the impulse zones happen when the short-term hodler SOPR begins the recovery process to see the average profit of these cohorts increasing. And next factor, Bitcoin can still produce October comebacks, so don't get it twisted. We may have had a little lackluster first opening week of October, but this is to be expected. Typically, the first couple of weeks of the October isn't so great, but the following 2 weeks is when things start to get exciting. And if things are to rhyme, they say history doesn't always repeat, but oftentimes it rhymes. If we are to rhyme, then I'm anticipating re-entering price discovery for the first time since March of this year when we hit the current all-time high of 73.8. But you let me know your thoughts. This analyst here says Bitcoin is still following the same playbook as last year. Months at shop coming to an end in October. Low for the month would be in, and the real fun is about to start. So are you ready to have some real fun? Rec Capital put Bitcoin confirmed the successful picture perfect retest of the downtrend of the light blue as new support as outlined here in the chart. And before I pull up the live charts, let's share some other breaking news. Pro Bitcoin, Donald Trump's lead in the election is up 8.6% in the odds according to Polymarket. This is the largest gap there has been. So clearly, since the Elon rally, things have been going in Trump's favor, clearly, as it's now 54% projected chance to win, and Harris is all the way down to 45%. Who you voting on for the November 5th United States election? Holla, let me know. And also other big news, the National Bank of Bahrain, with access points to the UAE and Abu Dhabi, just launched its first Bitcoin investment product, bullish. And quoting the high priest of Bitcoin, Max Geyser, dilution equals accretion. Never happened before in the history of finance on this scale. MicroStrategy. Hence, Mikey Saylor, Employee of the Month. Sorry, Larry Fink, but Mikey Saylor's just doing it the right way. And checking out some of the live charts. There's the 1 hour. Let me fix it on the screen so you can see it nice and clean. Bada boom, bada bing. So yeah, we're maintaining 63,200 live and in the flesh. This is the 1 hour chart brought to you by Coinbase via Trading View. And we do have a sexy red target, bullish, sitting at 66 for roughly, what is that, 3,000 price gain from where we're currently at. And zooming out, we'll check out the 4 hour, again, live and in the flesh. Welcome anyone just joining the stream. Good to have you guys here today. The blue target sitting at 81,300. I believe this target is in play for October on the 4 hour chart. You let me know if you agree or disagree. And we also have a downside target in the green sitting all the way down at 40,700. I think things are most likely to go to the blue target versus the green, but you let me know your thoughts. And let's continue, and we'll zoom out to the 1 day. Shout out Fresh. He just hooked it up for more caffeine for JV with the Orange Super. Much respect, brother. Greatly appreciate that. That's going to JV's Caffeine Fund, 100%. I think the 12 ounce today only cost me like $4. So now I can get 4, 8, 12, 6, 5 more 12 ounce coffees on behalf of Fresh. Thank you, brother. So yeah, on the daily chart, we do have the rising wedge formation. We do have a couple of bearish targets, one at 47.7 and a super bearish target at 40,800. It should be on your radar. And zooming out, we'll check out the weekly, and notice when I say weekly, it's W-E-E-K and not W-E-A-K. Big difference there. Nothing weak about the biddy, if you feel what I'm saying. And we do have a bullish pink target, pretty pink, sitting at 164 Gs. That's the cup and handle target in play for Q4 sometime between now and October, and the Santa rally in December. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and let's zoom out a little further. We'll check out the 1 month, and the 1 month chart shows us continued sideways trading action for the past 7-8 months. Are we about to break out of that and continue the bullish momentum here in Q4? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll read some of your comments. And let's continue with the news. Some of the headlines. Now, we did the astrology for the broskies. Next headline discussing this Bitcoin adoption. It reads, crypto adoption on track to hit 8% by 2025. That means by next year, and it's only 3 months out. Global crypto adoption is approaching a significant milestone, with 7.5% of the world's population now using digital currencies, according to the report by Matrixport. The report projects this figure to exceed 8% by 2025, signaling a potential shift of crypto from a niche market into the mainstream financial systems. The report highlights the growing influence of institutional involvement, which is a key factor driving the steady increase in adoption. So yeah, let's discuss this. The report cites the rise in institutional interest. Institutional FOMO, like a mofo, as I call it, one of the key factors to accelerating the crypto adoption. Financial firms like the BlackRock have been pivotal in building the trust and legitimacy for the digital assets within traditional financial systems. We have Marcus Thielen, founder of the 10X Research, who spoke about the role of the institutional products of the growth of the Biddy and the broader crypto market alike. Quoting him here, the evolution of the Bitcoin has consistently driven the price rallies. Whenever the new layers of Bitcoin acquisition were introduced to the financial markets, the potential introduction of options based on Bitcoin spot ETFs can trigger another wave of institutional interest. How many waves can we have? As many as we like. How cool was it, or is it, that you guys got to front run BlackRock and the rest of the institutional FOMO? That means if you were a Bitcoiner prior to January 11th of this year, you front ran Larry Fink and BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, right, in the world. And he now works for you. Now, Larry, if you're listening, go home and get your shine box. How do you like those apples? Bitcoin plays a central role in the overall crypto adoption, often viewed as a store of value, particularly during periods of economic uncertainty. Thielen noted economic challenges have historically increased demand for the Biddy, such as during the European debt crisis and devaluation of the Chinese yuan. In fact, going back to what I just reiterated a moment earlier, if you front ran Larry Fink and the institutional FOMO by being involved in Bitcoin prior to January 11th of this year, put a 1 in the live chat. When I'm done reading the story, I'm going to shout everyone out that got the front run Larry Fink. But quoting Thielen here, rising U.S. debt levels can spark strong demand for Bitcoin if the economy faces a slowdown. Whether from a recessionary period or trade wars, this trend positions Bitcoin as a hedge during times of economic uncertainty and darkness. That's how I translate that, mofo. Despite the optimistic projections highlighted by Matrix report, several hurdles remain, including regulatory considerations, market volatility, and retail investor security concerns, hacks and scams from hucksters, fraudsters, flim-flam artists, as Gary once said, such as wallet drainers still pose a threat in the crypto space. Additionally, institutional investors could exacerbate the market volatility, with large sell-offs potentially destabilizing the market during the macroeconomic shifts. Next headline reads, oh, this is MetaPlanet, the Japanese MicroStrategy, bro. Check this out. Japan's MetaPlanet makes 7 million Bitcoin buy, bringing holdings to $40.5 million. That's right. The Japanese investment company MetaPlanet made another Bitcoin purchase. Konnichiwa, bringing its stash to almost 640 Bitcoin and sending its stock surging more than 10%. That's right, October 7th, today. MetaPlanet announced its latest Bitcoin purchase after the Tokyo-listed firm scooped up another 108 Bitcoin, worth almost $7 million at today's price. MetaPlanet, which has been dubbed Asia's MicroStrategy after the American Bitcoin buying firm, has been aggressively acquiring the biddy and amassed more than 215 BTC over the week, following a 108 Bitcoin purchase on October 1st. Not too shabby. It's now holding 639.5 Bitcoin worth $40.5 million US dollars, according to its latest notice shared today, October 7th. And you can see the actual post from MetaPlanet. MetaPlanet purchases an additional 108.78 BTC, and MetaPlanet share price surged more than 11%. Another divine omen right there. During trading on October 7th to hit the intraday high of 1,047 Japanese yen. I get another divine omen there because anytime you see a 4 next to a 7, that's an 11, bro. So all these ones, very divine. Worth around $7, according to Google Finance. How many of you have any exposure to this Japanese traded company? Let me know. MetaPlanet began adopting Bitcoin as its strategic treasury reserve asset back in May of this year. And since then, the stock price has more than tripled and has gained over 532% since the beginning of the year. Not too shabby. I think that should go to show you other companies should also put some Bitcoin on the balance sheet or make it a strategic reserve asset for their treasury. Because what if your stock could quadruple or triple or double and you're going to get all the Bitcoiner supports because you're going to have JV reading you in the headlines every time you acquire Bitcoin? Free exposure, fam. It's a no-brainer. But anyways, last week, October 3rd, the firm employed a strategy involving the sale of put options. I think we call this the Saylor put, earning an additional 24 Bitcoin worth about $1.5 million. MetaPlanet sold 223 Bitcoin to put option contracts with a 62,000 strike price maturing December 27th. And Bitcoin put options are crypto derivative contracts that give the buyer the right, but not the obligation, to sell a predetermined price, the strike price on or before specific date. MetaPlanet CEO Simon Gurovich said that you'd think the CEO would be some Japanese guy, but Jurovich, that a Japanese last name? I think not. But what do I know? Said that the strategy provides a way to increase its Bitcoin reserves without adding financial risks. He said the firm aims to generate yields through option strategies on a portion of its assets. In early September, Jerovich announced a partnership with SBI Holdings Crypto Division to enhance its crypto trading, storage, and management capabilities. Strategic Business Innovator Group is one of the largest integrated financial groups in all of Japan. So there you have it, yo. Japan for the win. But yeah, let's continue with the headlines. We still got a lot to share, yo. Next story, let's discuss the ETF inflow outflows. Then we'll discuss a potential Bitcoin rally gearing up for right now, according to Dan Tapiera of 10T Holdings. And then we'll tap into the Giga Chad's $45 million price prediction in the moment you've all been waiting for. And then we'll tap some live Q&A, followed by the uncensored extended version of the pod, aka the after party. But yeah, here the headline reads, crypto investment products see 147 million outflows after a 3-week inflow streak. And again, we see a 4 followed by a 7. That's an 11, which typically I view as here 111. Numerology bros. They say numerology is the language of the gods. Just saying. But look at this lady. Who's that lady? She looks a little familiar. But anyways, crypto investment products posted outflows last week after several weeks of significant inflows, according to CoinShares. And its latest digital asset fund weekly flow report released today, October 7th. CoinShares said digital asset investment products saw 147 million of outflows during the week of September 29th to October 5th. So the past week, 147 million of outflows. The outflows followed inflows of nearly 2 billion in the previous 3 weeks. What a difference. With crypto products hitting 1.2 billion of inflows in 1 week from September 22nd to the 28th. CoinShares attributed the last week outflows to the stronger than expected economic data, which reduced the probabilities for significant rate cuts in the near future. Quoting them here, trading volumes were up marginally by 15% for the week in ETP, exchange traded product investment products. While there has seen lower volumes in the broader crypto markets, head of research James Butterfield noted, I wonder if he has any relation to Butterbean. He used to be one of my favorite boxers when I was a kid. But according to CoinShares, Bitcoin investment products led trading activity last week, with investors offloading almost 160 milli. Products based on Ether, the second largest crypto by market cap, posted 29 million in outflows, and also the Ether dominance dropped all the way down to 13.4%, the lowest we have seen it in years. And I know because I do this show every freaking day, and it's been years since we've seen an Ether market dominance all the way down in the 13% range, and that's where it's currently at. So not a good look for Ether right now. On the other hand, multi-asset investment products saw inflows of 29 million last week, marking the 16th consecutive week of inflows. And according to CoinShares, multi-asset products total 431 million in the past 16 weeks, representing 10% of the assets under management. Quoting Butterfield, and again, I don't know if there's any relation to Butterbean. Since June, multi-asset products have been a favorite amongst the investors who prefer to invest in a diversified basket of assets rather than the individual ones. And I got to give a massive shout out to some homie right now. Eye of the Beholder. He just became a member of the Huddle Gang for the next 10 months. That's support, brother. So thank you. I truly mean it. He wrote, Christ is Lord. Bitcoin is sound money. All I got to say to that, amen. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, brother, and thank you for your support. Greatly appreciate you. But yeah, also Canada joined Switzerland in a bullish trend, interestingly. While the U.S. led outflows with a 209 million sell-off, some countries such as Canada and Switzerland saw a bullish trend in crypto investment products last week. Now, I've never been to Canada, and it's crazy because I'm from the United States, but I've been to Switzerland, and the mountains out there are breathtaking. I just got to point that out. According to CoinShares data, Canada and Switzerland saw inflows of 43 million and 35 million last week, respectively. Switzerland, the second largest investor of the crypto products, with its year-to-date inflows amounting to 538 million as of October 5th. U.S.-based products, the largest crypto investment products of the market, according to CoinShares, have seen 23.4 billion in inflows so far in 2024. Canada, which recorded some bullish action last week, has had nearly $430 million in outflows in 2024. So there you go. Let's discuss some bullishness, shall we? In fact, after this story of the Bitcoin rally from Dan Tapiero and his projections and timeline, I'm going to be sharing with you Mikey Saylor's 45 million price prediction. As a bonus, I'm going to throw in a $100 million price prediction for you. How do you like those apples? You know what that means? That means one Satoshi will be valued at $1 US. And when that happens, Bitcoin will be valued at $100 million per coin. And that's how we roll. But yeah, let's start with Dan Tapiero first. Investor Dan Tapiero says Bitcoin primed to launch. If Bitcoin breaks one major resistance level, can we break the level? There's a devil to every level. Let's see. Tapiero says Bitcoin's forming a large years-long cup and handle structure, setting the biddy up for a breach of the March 2024 highs of 74 Gs. And as I shared earlier in the live charts, we do have a $124,000 target cup and handle pattern on the weekly chart. Let me think, or know if you think we'll break it. Cup and handle formation is typically viewed as a bullish continuation pattern, suggesting the asset is taking a breather after a steep rally before taking out resistance level. And according to Tapiero, Bitcoin can still go through a period of sideways consolidation before witnessing a convincing breakout. Quoting the champion right here. If that ain't a cup and handle, I don't know what is. Just a great day today across the board. Strong payrolls and liquidity driven. BTC and ETH still trading well. Break of the March highs and we launch. Could still do a little chop chop, but days like today confirm. So we may get more of the chop chop, but we will break the March highs of 73.8. He's ultimately saying it's destiny. Quoting him here again. Ethereum has achieved the network effect. Only Bitcoin and ETH are in this category. Sorry, Solana, but it does say Solana's moving in that direction as well. This is not an emotional appeal. I'm just looking at usage, revenues, community build, and years in existence, etc. And that's coming directly from Dan. He also expects crypto staking, which typically offers higher yields compared to traditional financial. Traditional financial markets at the bank give you like a 0.001% yield, and you actually end up losing 29% per year due to the inflation. It's pretty wild. So of course, crypto staking is going to outperform the financial legacy markets, but I think we all know that. Quoting Dan here, powerful driver of this crypto up cycle will be the yield. Yes, again, 3% on staked ETH, now better than 2% on the non-Euro 2-year, 1.4% on the China 2-year, US 2-year, 3.7%, but expected 2% next year. And like I said, if inflation's really 30% per year and you're only getting a minuscule 3% yield, how much are you really losing with that melting ice cube theory, family? Fill in the blanks. The investor adds that China has opened the liquidity floodgates. Let's go China to stimulate the economy. And according to Tapiero, the move is a huge bullish catalyst for the Biddy. Quoting him here, huge macro event. Things so bad in China. The government flinches. QE quantitative easing for China equity. Rate cuts. Bid liquidities are coming. Low likely in for the China assets. Bazooka! Bullish gold and Bitcoin. Let me repeat. Bazooka! Bullish gold and Bitcoin. So there you go. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Now for our feature story of the day. The Giga Chad Michael Saylor projects Bitcoin smashing $45 million per coin. And as a bonus, I also have a $100 million price prediction, which is officially the largest Michael Saylor Bitcoin price prediction ever shared. And here's some math. By the time one Satoshi is valued at $1, that will equal a $100 million Bitcoin price, as one Bitcoin could be divided by 100 million sats. So stack them sats accordingly. And let's break down the latest. This headline reads 45 million by 2045. That's the kicker. Obviously, we're not going to 45 million tomorrow or this cycle. Sorry to break the news to you, but to even hit 45 million by the year 2045 in 20 years, pretty freaking impressive, and especially considering Michael Saylor believes it'll happen. So before we even read this article, I'm going to share with you some previous predictions that the Giga Chad has made. This one he made with Patrick Bet-David on the Valuetainment podcast. I remember when he did it because I actually shared it here. This was back on November 18th of 2023. Got 136,000 views, 965 hearts, 264 reposts. Not too shabby. And this is the most bullish prediction I ever heard come out of Michael Saylor's mouth, and I encourage you to listen to it. I already reposted it, so it's towards the top of my X profile, and I'm quoting the Giga Chad word for word verbatim. Bitcoin is on a path to be worth $100 million, which means that the US dollar will have lost 99.9% of its value over 100 years. Warren Buffett knows this. Charlie Munger knows this. And obviously, this was right before Charlie Munger ascended to a different dimension, or descended to a lower dimension. We really don't know. I don't want to speculate there. But very powerful words coming from Saylor. Ultimately, Patrick Bet-David said, yo, Michael, where do you see Bitcoin going? And he's like, well, it's going to $100 million. And Patrick Bet-David's face was priceless, the expression. But yeah. And another prediction I'm going to read out loud. And again, this is me quoting the Saylor verbatim. This was a clip I shared December 2nd of 2023. It was being interviewed. 142,000 views, 986 hearts, 234 reposts. And quoting him here, Bitcoin is about to 425x. Here's why. New Michael Saylor prediction. Because Bitcoin is just pure money. It's just as effective at 100,000 a coin as 10,000 a coin. And at $1 million a coin, it's just as effective. And at 10 million a coin is probably more compelling at 10 million a coin than $1 million or 100,000 a coin, which ultimately means the more expensive Bitcoin gets, the more compelling it is to pick some up. That's just the nature of the human being. We all love to buy the tops. Ain't that true? How many of your family members hit you up when Bitcoin's in price discovery mode? How do I get one of those things? And you can tell them about Bitcoin when there's the greatest discount, like during COVID, when Bitcoin crashed to freaking 3,000 a coin. No one's interested. Oh, it's going to go to zero. It's just the nature of humanity. But anyways, back to Saylor. It's kind of a universally scalable asset that gets less risky. The only thing that's going to change, in my opinion, is when it was super risky and scary below 10 Gs, you were getting 100 to 200% 100% a year annualized gains. And then it got a bit more understandable between 10,000 and 100,000 per coin, precisely where we're currently at. Your gains go to 40 or 50% a year. And then at some point, they go to 30% and then 20%. And in extreme, if everybody in the world understood Bitcoin, it'd be 20, 30, 40% of the wealth of the world. And at the time he made this prediction, he says, it would be $200 to $300 trillion in today's dollars. And I think that's underestimating the true total addressable market. I've heard projections, it could be 7, 8, 900 trillion dollars. And I think after a trillion, I'm speculating is a quadrillion, but you never know. But even just based off 200 to 300 trillion and tapping into 20 to 40% of the wealth of the world, that's how we get to these impressive numbers. So continuing here, then the price would be appreciating at the rate of global inflation in fiat currency. So if the gold inflation rate remains a 7, it would remain at a 7, and then it would appreciate a little bit more because of the productivity of the people that adopt it as a treasury reserve asset. And you already know what's coming down the pipeline. One more quote before we dive deeper into the story. Bitcoin is an asset class that is a major revolution. If Fidelity and BlackRock and if 10 other ETF issuers all agree, in which they already have, that Bitcoin is an asset class, it should be 10x to 100x bigger than it is right now. And at the time he made this prediction, let's speculate the Bitcoin market cap was probably roughly $1 trillion. I mean, today it's only 1.2 trillion. So 100x bigger, we're talking about $100 trillion market cap, which would be right in alignment with this previous prediction of Bitcoin tackling, 20, 30, 40% of the wealth in the world. And that could eventually take us to 100 million per coin. Let me know if you agree, disagree, and I'll read those comments out loud. But I want to dive a little deeper into the story. As mentioned earlier, Saylor is confident that Bitcoin could one day be worth 45 million. He doesn't see Bitcoin as just another asset, but as something much more significant. Preach! He described Bitcoin as a piece of cyberspace. You get to own it, where people will store their wealth in the future. And according to Saylor, Bitcoin will act as a kind of digital real estate, offering a safe place for companies and individuals to protect their funds, especially during times of inflation, aka times like now, economic trouble. You can say that again. So do you own a piece of cyberspace? Let me know. Nothing better than this digital real estate family. So golden cross on a technical indicator that might support Saylor's 45 million prediction is the recent golden cross for the biddy. This pattern shows up when Bitcoin's 50-day moving average rises above 200-day moving average, which is often seen as a sign it can be set for the further increases in the past. A golden cross has often led to a big price jump. And as Bitcoin Archive points out here, Bitcoin is about to make a golden cross 50-week over the 200-week. And sometimes we get these golden crosses and the price action goes parabolic. And while 45 million may seem far off, this golden cross suggests Bitcoin has the potential for more growth in the future. It could be the signal of the start of the longer upward movement, bringing Bitcoin closer to some of these higher price targets. But then again, let me know if you feel Michael Saylor's bullishness will come into fruition. And if it's how would that impact your life, family? Stack sats accordingly, and welcome everyone to the Q&A segment of the live stream. I'm going to do my best to read as many of the comments out loud